Welcome. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, hundreds of University of the Virgin Islands students mark the end of their life in the world of academia. This week, on Thursday and Friday, the university handed out hundreds of degrees and even awarded a couple of honorary degrees to Virgin Islanders who've made a difference in the community. News 2's April Knight has the story.
These UVI students have come to the end of the line. Hundreds of them reaped the fruits of years of some would call hard labor and proudly claimed their diplomas. This year, the University of the Virgin Islands awarded more than 300 degrees on St. Thomas and St. Croix. But UVI President Dr. David Hall said this is not just a celebration of their academic achievements.
Know that this is a celebration of more than your academic accomplishments. This is a celebration of your determination and will. This is a celebration of your faith over your fears. And this is a celebration to propel you into an even brighter future.
Professor Hilary Beckles of the University of the West Indies fired up the new graduates with his keynote speech.
In your moments of self-fulfillment, as you big up yourself and celebrate yourself, keep an eye on the generation behind you. Keep an eye on the generation behind you.
UVI also gave out honorary degrees. On St. Thomas, Ruth Molinar received one for her lifetime's work as an educator. And on St. Croix, Richard Schrader for his contributions to the criminal justice system. At the end of the day, Dr. Hall encouraged students to find the reason, rhyme, and rhythm in life. And if they do,
if you continue to embrace the reason, continue to explore the rhyme, and walk in rhythm with the divine, then there will not only be more celebrations like this one in your future, but you will shape your future and shape the world.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Big congratulations to all the graduates as well as to the class speakers on both islands, Patrice Harris on St. Thomas and Akeem McIntosh on St. Croix. On Thursday, the Senate Committee on Rules and Judiciary approved the nomination of Dr. Michelle Davis to the Office of Health Commissioner. Davis is on loan to the territory from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and, if confirmed, will serve as Health Commissioner for 2 years under the agreement with the federal government. Davis is an epidemiologist by training and has medical and administrative background. All the members of the committee present voted yes, except for Senator Jeanette Millen-Young, who abstained. Meanwhile, Commissioner nominee shared that the U.S. Department announced their technical assistance program, the grants, for this week, and they have awarded $375,000 to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for systems assessment to strengthen the management, accountability, and implementation of federal health resources in the U.S. territories of Guam, American Samoa, Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, and U.S. Virgin Islands, as well as others. She said the proposal she wrote in collaboration with her HHS Region 9 colleague was awarded funding to continue and expand upon activities it begun under the USVI Ignite initiative. In other news, Governor Juana Fleury Hospital and Medical Center officials announced that the search to identify key members of Juana Fleury's leadership team is underway. The Chief Medical Officer, Chief Nursing Officer, and Human Resources Director positions have all been posted with local newspapers and the VI Department of Labor. The positions will also be posted with newspapers located in major medical cities throughout the United States. Officials from Lahey Hospital and Medical Center, they have pledged their support to Juana Fleury in the interim. Juana Fleury's board will also be asking Greeley Consultants to conduct a mock survey and analysis of where the hospital is as of April 30th, 2016. In our police reports, police said 2 people were killed in a car crash, and that happened around 8:15 p.m. on May 6 on the Melvin Evans Highway in the vicinity of D&J Shooting Range in the eastbound lane. The 2 have been identified now as 25-year-old Hannah Peterson and 43-year-old Edwin Miles Thornberry, both of Minnesota. Preliminary investigations indicated that the victims were traveling on a scooter eastbound when a vehicle struck them from behind, according to the VIPD. The incident is still under investigation by the VIPD traffic investigators. Meanwhile, a missing woman's family continues to appeal for help. They say 41-year-old Creola Jones disappeared after arriving on St. Croix with her husband. Here's more from the VIPD.
Her mother did not hear from her and after several weeks became worried. Creola is described as a gentle and caring woman whose disappearance is out of character. She's approximately 5 feet 7 inches and has black dreadlocks, hair, and brown eyes. Police is urging anyone who sees Creola to contact 911 immediately and advise that it is an emergency. For further information, you can contact Detective Kai Joseph at 340-712-6047 or Detective Naomi Joseph at 340-712-6092. I'm Glenn Drake, Public Information Officer for the Virgin Islands Police Department.
Thanks for that, Glenn. Police Week events continue. Early this afternoon, there was a candlelight vigil at the Ann Abramson Pier, remembering all of our brothers and sisters in blue that have passed on. Now on Saturday, May 14th, over on St. Thomas, officers will be observing Peace Officer Memorial Parade at 10 a.m. from the Emil Griffith Ballpark to the Alexander Fowley Criminal Justice Complex. There will also be a 21-gun salute and laying of the wreath, followed by a prayer. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton is scheduled to visit the Big Island and make a public appearance, and that's on Monday on St. Croix to campaign for Hillary Clinton's presidential bid. He is scheduled to attend a rally at Island Center from 6 to 7 p.m. As many are aware, this is not the Clintons' first visit to the territory. The family vacationed twice on St. Thomas while he was in office, first in 1997 and then in 1998. And the Democratic National Convention is scheduled for July 25th to the 28th in Philadelphia. Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett is encouraging Virgin Islands students to write to the President of the United States asking him to visit the VI before he leaves office in 2017. You can write a 1 to 3 paragraph letter expressing why you believe President Obama should visit the territory. She says the purpose is to engage students in an exercise of civic duty, while encouraging them to express their thoughts and opinions through writing. She is hoping that the words of our bright young Virgin Islanders will persuade President Obama to visit the territory. Letter to the President initiative is open to all 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students and open to 10 to 13-year-olds who are homeschooled as well. Now this runs from May 9th through May 31st. The letters will all be compiled and forwarded to the White House. Meanwhile, President and Mrs. Obama greeted Nordic leaders arriving at the White House Friday morning. Leaders from Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden are in Washington for a U.S. Nordic Leaders Summit. A White House press release said the summit will be an opportunity to discuss counterterrorism efforts and violent extremism. The leaders will also discuss the environment, the refugee crisis, and nuclear security. The President and Mrs. Obama will host a state dinner for the leaders this evening. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. As we take a look at the numbers there, we can see everything is down. The Dow 185, NASDAQ 19, S&P 500 down 17. Coming up on News 2 and To Your Health, a flat and well-toned abdomen is something many of us strive for through exercise and weight control, but sometimes these methods cannot achieve our goals. More into your health. Welcome back. Innovative is making available its cash payment option on a limited basis. Effective Monday, May 16th, 2016, it will open one cashier window at each of its business office locations to accept cash payments. Hours of operation will be 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The option to pay at the cashier window will last 4 to 6 months as the company works on installing cash kiosks at each of the business offices. The innovative business offices are located at Estate Diamond in St. Croix, Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, and the Marketplace in St. John. Innovative also reminds its customers that a variety of other payment options are available, including by telephone, online, or by dropping your check or money order in the night deposit box along the outside wall of their business offices. Kenneth Mapp has disapproved an application from Island Roads for a 10-year extension on tax benefits from the Economic Development Authority. The paving company has enjoyed local tax exemptions for the previous 20 years. Mapp said a review of Island Road's application led him to a wider public policy review through this process. We learned that the single largest customer of paving companies is the government of the Virgin Islands, and the largest share of the government's purchases from the paving companies are for projects that are supported by federal funds. He also learned that all reasonable competitive costs for road projects could and generally do include reasonable fees and taxes due the government. Well, St. Thomas students got a very special treat this week as we reported. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, they sent a team of scientists to encourage them into the field. Now, on Friday, it was at Adelita Cancrine Junior High School's turn, and suffice it to say, the NASA mission was a success. News2's April Knight has that story.
Space, the final frontier, and in the future, these kids might just get to go on that voyage. This week, scientists from NASA made the rounds from school to school on St. Thomas, inspiring students to reach for the stars.
We want them to be part of the exploration process, of the exploration experience, and we want them to have us, NASA, as an option.
One particularly inspiring man was this guy. Dion Williams grew up on St. Croix, and owing to perseverance and the love of math, he ended up working on some of NASA's biggest projects.
I would say that with mathematics, learn as much math as you possibly can. Every opportunity you get, you learn as much math. And sciences, biology, chemistry, physics.
They showed off the state-of-the-art spacesuit worn by astronauts and showed students what life is like in space. Now NASA is setting its sights on putting humans on Mars. I guess you could say they're recruiting early. A lot of the Cancrine students said they want to go to Mars, and that might actually happen. According to these NASA scientists, the crew that gets to go on that epic journey would most likely come from this generation.
That's their generation. That's their space exploration systems that we are developing.
The NASA team's efforts paid off as students listened in rapt attention. They certainly inspired this young Virgin Islander to go where no man or woman has gone before.
It's not only letting men know that they can be astronauts and that they can work in the science and math technology field, but it's letting young African American women know as well that we can be scientists, we can be astronauts, we can work in the math field.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Congrats to the students. Lieutenant Governor Osbert Potter said in a recent public announcement that Blue Cross Blue Shield was withdrawing from the territory is premature. According to the Lieutenant Governor, before a USVI licensed insurance company can withdraw from the territory, the company must first comply with certain requirements. A letter was sent from the Lieutenant Governor's office to Blue Cross reminding it of these requirements, including having another authorized insurer assuming the company's direct liability to its policyholders and obligees under an agreement approved by the Commissioner of Insurance, an office held by the Lieutenant Governor. In that same letter, Blue Cross Blue Shield was informed that a public announcement should not be made until policyholders were first notified. The Commissioner is not obligated to approve the withdrawal of Blue Cross Blue Shield until these requirements are met. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Into your health, a flat and well-toned abdomen is something many of us strive for through exercise and weight control. Sometimes these methods cannot achieve our goals, while some may believe it's just for vanity. Doctors say the weakened or separated muscles there could cause health issues. More into your health. Are you a candidate? When diet and exercise are not enough to eliminate stubborn excess tissues and fat cells, or pregnancy, C-section, muscle tone and skin elasticity may be poor. Abdominoplasty may be an option.
So it's not just a question of, taking off a little bit of skin and liposuction. It's really about putting the muscles back together where they belong, really reconstructing the abdominal wall.
For many mothers who struggle to slim down after pregnancy, surgical treatment is often the most effective way to achieve the desired shape and tone.
Well, I specialize in the breast and body work, but one of the things that I really focus on is abdominal wall reconstruction. Not just tummy tucks, but really reconstructing the abdominal wall, especially in women, for example, who have had multiple pregnancies. Because when that happens, you can have a really wide separation of the muscles of the abdomen. Of course, extra skin and stretch marks.
Abdominoplasty removes excess fat and skin and in most cases restores weakened or separated muscles.
It's not dangerous per se, but when you have that weakness between the abdominal muscles, over time you can actually develop a true hernia, which is another one of the things that I specialize in, is reconstruction of the abdominal wall and fixing hernias as well.
Doctors remind you that this procedure is not a substitute for weight loss or an appropriate exercise program.
If you like to go to the gym and really work out those abs, 3 to 4 weeks you should be able to go back to that. But what it involves is really removing the excess skin, typically from the belly button all the way down, and then you're really looking at the abdominal walls and you can reconstruct them, tightening them up all the way from right up on the upper chest all the way down to the pubic area, and you put the muscles back to the middle where they belong. And then I also use lipocontouring or liposuction to sculpt the back and sculpt the waist to kind of bring everything together. But the key element is really reestablishing the core and the abdominal strength.
Dr. Elaine Polanyi says first you have to determine if you are a candidate. Now, he is a board-certified plastic surgeon from the Williams Center in New York, and he will be operating out of the Comprehensive Orthopedic